Hey there, folks, pull up a chair, or a hover pod if that's your thing. I'm Captain Jack Roundhouse, your resident human liaison aboard Starhaven Nexus, the galaxy's loudest, shiniest melting pot of interstellar diplomacy. Picture a space station the size of a small moon, buzzing with 20 alien species who trade everything from quantum widgets to glow-in-the-dark fruit, all while trying not to accidentally start a war over who gets the last parking slot at Docking Bay 12. My gig? Keeping the peace between these folks, which is a bit like herding cats. If those cats had laser claws, diplomatic immunity, and a tendency to vote on whether your planet should be turned into a parking lot. I've seen some wild days out here, but nothing beats the time I ended up babysitting a trio of fire-breathing dragon babies. Yeah, you heard me right, buckle up, because this story's got chaos, laughs, and a little something about why humans are the galaxy's go-to for wrangling the unwranglable. It all kicked off on what we humans stubbornly call a Wednesday, because even a million light years from Earth, we're not giving up our calendar. I'm in my office sipping recycled coffee that tastes like regret, when my comm buzzes like it's about to explode. Captain Roundhouse, crackles the voice of Security Chief Zara Quinn, who's got the kind of calm that comes from surviving too many diplomatic food fights. We've got a situation at Docking Bay 5, Apex Draconids just rolled in, and they're asking for you, specifically. Now, that stops me cold. Draconids aren't your average visitors. Imagine a T-Rex got frisky with a Komodo dragon, then their kid grew wings, scales that shimmer like a supernova, and a brain smart enough to teach college physics. They're 9 feet tall, breathe sparks when they're annoyed, and have jaws that could snap a steel beam like a pretzel. Oh, and they're polite as heck, go figure. I grab my jacket, because even in space, I've got style, and hightail it to the bay, dodging a flustered jellyfish-looking diplomat who's muttering about trade tariffs in a language that sounds like wet socks slapping a wall. The docking bay's a zoo, cargo drones buzzing, a squid-like merchant taking bets on how fast I'll bolt, and my assistant Lila checklist Harper clutching her data pad like it's her last shred of sanity. Lila's the type who'd alphabetize a meteor shower if you let her. Earned her nickname by memorizing every safety protocol Starhaven's ever dreamed up. She's already muttering, Protocol 13, A, unscheduled Apex arrivals, when I spot the Draconids. There's Ambassador Vreeth, her golden scales glinting like she's made of molten sunshine, standing tall and regal. Next to her is her mate, Torin, who's got that I'm too cool to blink vibe, his tail flicking like a metronome. Between them, 3 hatchlings, Spike, Ember, and Flick, each about the size of a wolf, with tiny wings flacking like they're auditioning for a bird show and tails sparking like faulty wiring. Spike's gnawing on a cargo crate, Ember's sneezing little fireballs that singe a drone's paint job, and Flick's doing backflips that knock over a stack of glow fruit. The crowd's eating it up, whispering bets on whether I'll end up as lunch or just lightly toasted. Captain Roundhouse, Vrith says, her voice deep and smooth, like a cello with a hint of growl. She clicks her claws in what I've learned is their version of a handshake. We require your species' unique expertise, I bow back, because when something can barbecue you in one bite, you lean toward politeness. Ambassador, I say, what's humanity got that the Apex Draconid Confederation needs today? Torin steps forward, his eyes glinting like polished obsidian. An emergency trade summit, he says, pausing as the translation matrix hums to keep up. A dispute over asteroid mining rights. All Draconid representatives are required, but our hatchlings... He gestures at the trio who've now started a game of tag that involves setting small, non-essential things on fire. They can't come along, Vrith finishes. Too much risk of incidental combustion. I glance at Spike, who's just left a scorch mark on a wall that'll cost me a week's pay to fix. So, you need a babysitter, I ask, half laughing, half praying I heard wrong. Vrith nods, her secondary jaw clicking in approval. Your kind has a remarkable history, she says. We've studied your archives, taming wolves, soothing serpents, even those, what do you call them? Cute animal videos? I grin. Yeah, that's our brand, suckers for anything with big eyes and sharp teeth. Lila's not grinning. She's whispering, Protocol 47. Never volunteer for uncontained xeno-infants. But it's too late. The universe is already chuckling and I can feel it. Why us? I ask, dodging a spark from Ember that nearly fries my boots. Torin tilts his head like he's sizing me up. Your species sees potential where others see peril, he says. 30 cycles ago, a human biologist kept a clutch of venomous scree larvae alive during a diplomatic crisis, armed with nothing but a water sprayer and stubbornness. You treat all young as your own, no matter how dangerous. I'm flattered, honestly, but also sweating. These hatchlings aren't just dangerous, they're chaos with scales. Flick's now climbing a support beam, leaving claw marks that'll make maintenance weep. 6 hours, Vrith says, handing me a data chip. No live prey, avoid flammables, and please, don't let them singe essential systems. She pauses. They're already fed, so... Minimal incidents. I nod, already plotting how to keep 3 fire-breathing toddlers from turning Starhaven into a bonfire. The Draconids head off, tails swishing, and the hatchlings turn their glowing eyes on me. Lila's muttering about liability clauses, the squid merchant's upping his bets, and Technician Milo, a wiry guy with a smirk and a grudge, saunters over. Roundhouse, he calls. 10 credits, says. You're toast by lunch. I wave him off, but his jab stings. Milo's been gunning for my job since I beat him to this post, and he's the type to accidentally leave a wrench in your engine. As the bay doors hiss shut, I toss Spike a synthesized meat stick, which he chomps like candy. All right, team, I say to Lila, who's rigging a fireproof tarp. Let's show 'em why humans are the galaxy's best babysitters. Or at least fake it till the Draconids get back. Little did I know, the universe was already warming up its sense of irony, and those hatchlings, they were about to turn my Wednesday into a legend. Or a disaster. Probably both. So, there I am, folks, standing in Docking Bay 5 with 3 Apex Draconid hatchlings staring me down like I'm the galaxy's most interesting chew toy. Spike's got his snout buried in a crate, Ember's sneezing sparks that could double as a welding torch, and Flick's doing spark wheels that'd make a gymnast jealous, if gymnasts left scorch marks on the floor. Ambassador Vrith and Torin just peeled out for their summit, leaving me with a data chip of instructions and a promise of minimal incidents. Famous last words, right? My assistant Lila checklist Harper is already muttering about resignation forms, and I can hear the universe snickering. Welcome to the part where I say yes to the craziest babysitting gig this side of the Milky Way, and watch it go sideways faster than a drunk asteroid. All right, Lila, I say, tossing her a fireproof tarp from the emergency kit. We've got 6 hours to keep these scaly gremlins from turning Starhaven Nexus into a barbecue pit. You in? She glares at me over her datapad, her brown curls bouncing as she shakes her head. Protocol 92D says we should have called hazardous species control, Jack. Not rolled out the welcome mat. I grin because she's right, but also because I've got a soft spot for anything that looks like it might eat me and then nap on my lap. Come on, I say. Where's your sense of adventure? Besides, we've got treats. I hold up a bag of synthesized meat sticks. Draconid catnip, according to the data chip. First step, containment. We can't babysit in a docking bay full of flammable cargo and gawking aliens, so I calm Security Chief Zara Quinn. Zara, clear Recreation Hub 3 for us. We're setting up shop. She sighs, long and dramatic, like she's picturing the repair bills already. Jack, if those hatchlings melt my hub, you're scrubbing plasma conduits for a month. Fair threat, but I've got faith. Or at least a solid bluff. Lila and I herd the trio down the corridor, me luring them with meat sticks while she waves a laser pointer she swears is protocol-approved enrichment. Spike lunges for it, nearly taking my arm with him, and Ember's tail flicks a spark that singes Lila's boot. Minimal incidents, huh? She mutters. I just laugh. Nervous, sure, but it's a start. Recreation Hub 3 is our fortress. A reinforced dome built for rowdy alien sports, with walls that can take a plasma blast and a floor that's mostly fireproof. Mostly. Lila's in her element, rigging force fields, foam sprayers, and a makeshift playpen of cargo netting. Protocol 18, redundant containment, she says, taping a sensor to the wall. I toss out titanium chutus from the diplomatic gift stash, little orbs that jingle when you shake them. The hatchlings dive in like it's Christmas morning, tails wagging so hard they sound like a drumline. Spike chomps one, Ember bats hers into the air and Flick starts a pile like he's hoarding treasure. For 10 glorious minutes it's smooth sailing. "See," I say to Lila, leaning against a crate. "We're naturals." Then Technician Milo struts in, all smirk and swagger, his tool belt jingling like he's auditioning for a Space Eastern. Milo's been gunning for my liaison gig since I got here. Thinks he'd look better in the captain's chair, probably because he's got a jawline that could cut glass and an ego to match. "Roundhouse," he calls, twirling a spanner. "You really think you can handle those lizards? 10 credits says they roast you by noon." I roll my eyes. "Milo, don't you have a relay to fix?" He shrugs, leaning on a panel that, surprise, surprise, starts flickering the second he touches it. "Just checking your setup," he says, but his grin says sabotage. Lila's datapad beeps and she snaps, "Power fluctuation in Sector 7. Jack, if he's messing with us." "He's not," I say, hoping I'm right. Milo's a jerk, but he's not that reckless. Yet, the hatchlings pick up on the vibe shift. Spike's sniffing the air, nostrils flaring like he's caught a whiff of trouble. Ember's wings twitch, sending a spark that zaps a chew toy into a smoking heap. Flick's pacing, claws clicking on the floor, and I swear he's eyeing Milo like he's lunch. "Easy, buddy," I say, tossing Flick another toy. He catches it mid-air, but the tension's building. Lila's force fields hum, keeping the trio penned in, and I'm starting to think we might pull this off. Then the squid merchant from the bay oozes in, tentacles waving, voice like a bubbling swamp. "Human," he burbles. "Is this a new sport? I bet 50 credits on the small fire one." He means Ember, who's now sneezing sparks in a rhythm that's honestly impressive. "Not a sport," I say, "just babysitting." He blinks all 6 eyes. "Babysitting? Predators?" "Your species is mad." "Yeah, tell me something I don't know." That's when the real chaos kicks in. Spike figures out the netting's got a loose seam, smart little monster, and claws his way up the wall, leaving scorch marks that'll make maintenance cry. Ember follows, her wings buzzing as she perches on a light fixture, raining sparks like a glitter bomb. Flick, not to be outdone, slams into the force field, which flickers but holds. Barely. Lila's yelling, "Protocol 63! B! Escalate, containment," and I'm diving for the tree bag. "Spike, down!" I shout, waving a meat stick. He drops, tail wagging, and I snag Ember with a laser pointer, coaxing her back to the floor. Flick's trickier. He's growling at Milo, who's inspecting that flickering panel again. "Milo, back off," I snap. He smirks. "Just helping, boss." "Sure, and I'm a space whale." I'm juggling hatchlings like a circus act when Lila's datapad screeches, oxygen sensors picking up smoke. "Jack! Ember's sparks are clogging the vents," she says, grabbing a foam sprayer. She blasts the air, coating the hub in white fluff that makes it look like a snow globe gone wrong. The hatchlings think it's a game. Spike pounces the foam, Ember sneezes more sparks, and Flick starts rolling in it, turning himself into a fluffy dragon burrito. I can't help it, I laugh, loud and dumb, because this is my life now. "Lila, we're rewriting the manual after this," I say, tossing her a spare sprayer. She groans but sprays, muttering, "I should have stayed on Earth with the cows." Milo's still lurking, and I catch him nudging a power cable with his boot. "Milo," I say, voice low, "if you're screwing with us, I'll let Flick use you as a chew-tooey." He pales. Flick's growling louder now, but backs off, hands up. "Just testing your reflexes, Roundhouse." Testing my patience, more like. The hatchlings settle for a sec, munching treats, and I think we've got a handle on it. Then the hub's lights flicker hard, once, twice, and Lila's pad beeps again. "Jack, that's no glitch. Something's pulling power from the grid." Spike's ears perk up, Ember's sniffing, and Flick staring at the vent like it's calling his name. "They smell something," I say, heart sinking. "Something we missed." Before I can stop them, Spike claws the vent open, because of course he does, and the trio bolts, disappearing into the tunnels with a chorus of happy growls. Lila screaming, "Containment breach!" and I'm grabbing the treat bag, already running. Milo yells, "Told you you'd fail," but I ignore him. The hatchlings aren't just escaping, they're hunting, noses low, tails sparking. "Lila, track him on sensors," I shout, diving into the dark after 3 fire-breathing chaos machines. 6 hours, Vrith said, minimal incidents. Sure, The universe is laughing its ass off, and I'm starting to think this babysitting gig might just burn Starhaven down, or make me a hero. Either way, it's gonna be one hell of a Wednesday. Alright folks, picture this. I'm belly crawling through a maintenance tunnel on Starhaven Nexus, clutching a bag of synthesized meat sticks like it's my last lifeline, chasing 3 fire-breathing hatchlings who've decided recess is over and it's time to play Galactic hide-and-seek. Spike, Ember, and Flick bolted from Recreation Hub 3 faster than you can say Containment breach, leaving me and Lila, checklist Harper, in a foam-covered panic. The lights are flickering, the air smells like singed coolant, and my comms buzzing with Lila's voice, half static, half freak-out. Jack, sensors say they're in Tunnel 6C. I'm stuck in a vent, Protocol 82C backfired. I wince, dodging a spark Flick left behind. Hang tight, Lila, I say, I'm on it. Famous last words, right? This is where babysitting turns into a sci-fi action flick, and the universe decides to throw in a plot twist I didn't sign up for. These tunnels are a maze, cramped, dim, and littered with pipes that hiss like they're judging me. I'm tracking the hatchlings by claw marks and the occasional scorch spot, feeling less like a liaison and more like a zookeeper who lost the keys. My data pad's got a station schematic, and I notice something weird. The trio's not running wild, they're moving with purpose, zigzagging through cargo routes like they're on a mission. Spike's claw marks veer left, Ember's sparks light up a junction, and Flick's tail has melted a cable that's definitely not up to code. Lila, I comm. They're not escaping. They're hunting. Check the grid for anything funky. Her reply's garbled, but I catch power drain, Bay 9, scheduled shipment. My gut twists. That flicker Milo messed with? Not a glitch. I round a corner in Tunnel 7B, heart pounding, and nearly crash into Flick, who's sniffing a grate like it's hiding treasure. Hey, buddy, I whisper, tossing him a meat stick. He chomps it, tail wagging, but doesn't budge. Spike and Ember pop up behind him, nostrils flaring, eyes glowing in the dark. They're locked on something I can't see yet. Then I hear it, a crash, followed by muffled shouts echoing from ahead. Lila, you hearing this? I ask. She's still vent-trapped, but her voice cuts through. Jack, sensors show 3 heat signatures in Bay 9. Humanoid, not hatchlings. And... illegal? Tech readings? Oh great. Babysitting just turned into busting a smuggling ring. I creep forward, the hatchlings padding beside me like scaly bloodhounds. Bay 9 is a dead-end cargo hold, stacked with crates marked fragile, do not incinerate. Ironic given Ember's sneezing sparks again. I peek around a corner and see 3 shifty-looking traders in maintenance jumpsuits, scrambling to hide glowing gizmos that hum like bad news. One's got a scar across his cheek, call him Scarface, yelling at his buddies to move it before the summit locks us out. The tech? Disruptors, probably. Nasty little toys that could crash Starhaven's power grid and tank the Draconid's trade talks. And here I thought my biggest problem was keeping Flick from eating a vent. The hatchlings tense, growling low. Easy guys, I mutter, holding up a treat. They're smart, scary smart, and I'm banking on that. Scarface spins, spotting me, and snarls. Who the hell are you? I step out, hands up, meat stick bag dangling like a peace offering. Just the babysitter, I say, nodding at the hatchlings. Looks like my kids found your playdate. His eyes widen as Spike snaps his jaws. Ember flares her wings and Flick tilts his head like he's sizing up dinner. Call him off! Scarface barks, reaching for a disruptor. Bad move! Ember sneezes a spark that singes his sleeve and he yelps, dropping the gadget. They don't like sudden moves, I say, casual as I can. How about we talk? Before he can answer, Milo, of course it's Milo, pops up behind me, spanner in hand. Roundhouse, you're in over your head, he snaps, kicking a crate shut to help. It locks with a clang, trapping a power cable that shorts out, plunging us into red emergency lights. The hatchlings freak, Spike pounces the crate, Ember blasts a fireball that narrowly misses Milo, and Flick charges Scarface's crew who scatter like roaches. Milo, you idiot, I yell, diving to grab Flick's tail. He skids, growling but doesn't bite. Good boy. Milo's pale, stammering. I was fixing it. Sure, and I'm a space unicorn. His help just turned a standoff into a circus. Scarface recovers, waving his singed arm. "Back off or we fry this station," he shouts, grabbing another disruptor. The hatchlings don't care, they're in predator mode, herding the traitors into a corner with coordinated snarls. Spike blocks left, Ember right, and Flick stares down Scarface like he's daring him to try it. I've got seconds to de-escalate before this goes full Jurassic Park. "Listen," I say, stepping between them. "You don't want to mess with Draconid hatchlings. They're babies, sure, but they've got jaws that'll make you regret breakfast. Tell me who hired you, and maybe we all walk away." Scarface hesitates, sweating under Flick's glare. That's when Lila stumbles in, covered in vent grime, datapad sparking. "Jack, I've got Zara on comms." "Security's 5 minutes out," she pants, then freezes at the scene. "Are we arresting people now?" "Looks like it," I say, tossing her a meat stick. "Distract, Ember." She's eyeing that crate like it's lunch. Lila waves it and Ember bounds over, tail sparking happily. Milo, still lurking, mutters, "This is your fault, Roundhouse," and nudges a loose panel. Accidentally, I hope. It sparks, and the hatchlings lunge, pinning the traitors against the wall. Scarface drops his disruptor, hands up. Okay. "It's the Zorak Syndicate. Wanted the summit crashed for ore prices. We're just hired hands." I hit my comm. "Zora, Bay 9, smugglers, illegal tech, and 3 very good hatchlings. Bring treats. The big ones." She groans. "Jack, I'm promoting you or firing you, maybe both." The traitors slump, defeated, and I can't believe it. My babysitting gig just busted a crime ring. The hatchlings sit proud, Spike licking a claw, Ember preening her wings, and Flick nudging me like I'm part of the pack. "You little heroes," I say, scratching Ember's snout. She purrs, a sound like a jet engine warming up, and I realize they smell the disruptor's mineral core, same stuff they snack on back home. Milo's sulking by the crates and I catch his eye. "You gonna help clean this up or keep playing saboteur?" He scowls but grabs a loose cable, muttering, "Didn't mean for this." I'm not sure I buy it. His jealousy's been simmering since day one, but he's not the mastermind here. The Zorak Syndicate's the real threat, and these hatchlings just sniffed him out. Lila's datapad chimes powers stabilizing thanks to her vent heroics, and she grins, foam still in her hair. "Jack, we're alive." "Barely." I laugh, tossing Spike another treat. "Barely's my specialty." The tunnel quiets, save for the hatchlings' happy growls and the traitors whining. Security's en route, but I've got a feeling this mess isn't over. Milo's grudge, the hatchlings' instincts, and a station full of secrets. It's a powder keg and I'm holding the match. "Lila," I say, "tell Zara to hurry. These kids deserve a medal, or at least a nap." She nods and I brace myself. Babysitting's one thing. Accidentally playing space cop with fire-breathing toddler, that's a whole new Wednesday. So folks, here I am in Bay 9 of Starhaven Nexus, knee-deep in a standoff that's half babysitting nightmare, half action movie. 3 Apex Draconid hatchlings, Spike, Ember, and Flick, have pinned a trio of smugglers against a stack of crates, growling like they're auditioning for a monster flick. Scarface, the lead traitor, is sweating bullets, his disruptor on the floor after Ember's spark sneeze singed his ego. Lila checklist Harper's, waving a meat stick to keep Ember distracted while Technician Milo's sulking by a sparking panel he accidentally broke. Security's minutes away, but these hatchlings aren't waiting. They're ready to pounce, and I'm the squishy human stuck playing referee. The universe loves a punchline, and I'm about to find out if I'm the hero or the punchline. Scarface glares, clutching his charred sleeve. "Call off your dragons, or we're all toast," he snaps, eyeing a crate like it's his last hope. I step forward, hands up, trying to sound chill despite the growl in Flick's throat. "They're not my dragons, they're my babysitting clients. And you just confessed to crashing the summit for the Zorak Syndicate, so maybe chill out before they decide you're a snack." Spike snaps his jaws, perfect timing, and Scarface flinches. I'm banking on the hatchlings' smarts here. They've been heroes so far, sniffing out this mess like scaly detectives. Then it goes full chaos. Spike, chasing a stray spark from Ember, slams his tail into a control panel. Clang, the bay locks down, steel shutters slamming shut, and the lights flare red like we're in a horror vid. Oxygen's on backup, alarms are screaming, and Lila yelps, "Jack, we're trapped!" The hatchlings think it's playtime. Flick bats a crate, sending it skidding while Ember's wings buzz, sparking the air. Scarface lunges for his disruptor, yelling, "You're done, babysitter," but flicks faster, pouncing to block him with a growl that says, "Try me." I dive in, grabbing Flick's tail. "Easy, buddy, no eating the evidence." Milo, still by the panel, sprays foam from an extinguisher he snagged, half at the sparks, half at nothing, like he's auditioning for a slapstick routine. "This is your fault, Roundhouse," he shouts, foam dripping off his chin. "Milo," I snap, dodging a crate Flick's now using as a soccer ball, "help her shut up." Scarface's crew huddles, whining about diplomatic immunity, but the hatchlings herd them tighter, Spike's tail sparking like a warning shot. Lila's datapad sparking too, but she's calm now, tossing Ember another treat. "Jack, they're listening to you." "Sort of," she says. "Sort of's good enough." I take a breath and try something nuts. "Hey, Scarface," I say, grinning like I've got this. "How about a deal? You spill who's pulling Zorak's strings and I keep these kids from turning you into jerky. Fair?" He hesitates, Flick's glowing eyes an inch from his face. "Fine," he sputters. "It's Counselor Vex, wanted ore prices spiked. We're just grunts." I recorded on my comm, smirking. "Good choice, now sit tight. Security loves a cooperative perp." The hatchlings ease off, sitting like proud guard dogs, tails thumping. Lila and Milo tackle the panel, Milo grumbling, Lila barking orders. "Regroup the auxiliary feed," she says, and Milo, to my shock, listens, twisting wires with shaky hands. "I didn't mean for this," he mutters, foam in his hair. "Just wanted you off your game." I raise an eyebrow. "Yeah, well, you got us locked in with smugglers instead. Teamwork makes the dream work, huh?" He scowls but keeps working, and the shutters groan open as power kicks back. The hatchlings chirp, actual chirps, like happy puppies, and I toss them treats. "You little legends," I say, scratching Spike's snout. Security storms in, led by Zara Quinn, who takes one look and sighs. "Jack, I'm aging in dog years here." She cuffs the traitors, who mumble about unfair hatchling tactics, and I can't help laughing. "Zara, these kids just saved the summit, treats all around." She shakes her head but tosses meat sticks, which the hatchlings catch mid-air. Then Vrith and Torin stride in, scales glinting, jaws dropping as Flick presents a singed crate like a trophy. "Captain," Vrith says, her growl amused, "our hatchlings apprehended criminals?" I shrug. They smelled the disruptors. Same mineral as their snacks. No one got eaten, so win? Torn rumbles, impressed. "Remarkable restraint." "Zara's already pitching, Ambassador. How about a junior patrol program? These three are naturals." I jump in. "Better yet, make Starhaven the spot for alien kids. A XenoYouth Academy. Care, training, maybe some crime busting on the side." Vrith clicks her claws. "Intriguing. Many species would value this." I glance at Milo, who's kicking a crate. "Milo, you in?" "Playrooms need designing." He blinks, stunned. "Me? Yeah," I say. "You're a jerk, but you're handy. Let's turn that into something good." He nods, slow, like he's rethinking his whole grudge. Zora signs off, the Draconids pledge creds, and an hour later the traitors are in lockup, griping about dragon cops. The hatchlings nuzzle me, Ember's purr vibrating my boots, and I realize we've got something special here. "Lila," I say. "We survived. You okay?" She grins, foam-free at last. "Barely, but I'm writing how to babysit galactic terrors now." I laugh, clapping Milo's shoulder. "You're on cleanup, pal." Earned it. He groans but grabs a broom and I catch a flicker of a smile. Progress. The bay quiets and I look at the hatchlings who've flopped into a pile, tails sparking faintly. "You're the real MVPs," I say, tossing one last treat. "They saved the day, chaos and all, and I'm starting to think humans and Draconids aren't so different. We both see potential in the wild stuff." As Zara hauls the traitors off, she mutters, "Jack, you're running that academy, or I'm firing you into a sun." I grin. Deal. Wednesday's over and somehow we're heroes. Minimal incidents? Nah. Maximum legend? You bet. All right, folks, let's take a breath. Wednesday's done and Starhaven Nexus is still spinning thanks to 3 fire-breathing hatchlings and a whole lot of human stubbornness. I'm Captain Jack Roundhouse, and if you've stuck with me this far, you've seen me go from babysitter to accidental space cop, all with Spike, Ember, and Flick leading the charge. The smugglers are cooling their heels in lockup, Milo's sweeping up his ego, and the XenoYouth Academy's green lit turning our chaos into something permanent. So, grab a snack. This is the part where I figure out what it all means, and maybe leave you with a little something to chew on too. A month later, the Academy's buzzing. Spike, Ember, and Flick are back for hero training, strutting through drills like they own the place. Tails sparking, jaws snapping, but no one's getting roasted. Ambassador Vrith calls it a win. Her hatchlings haven't been this happy since they hatched. Milo's teaching a class on safe playroom design. Ironic, right? And he's actually good at it, trading smirks for shy grins when the kids cheer. Lila's manual, How to Survive Galactic Daycare, is a station bestseller, and she's got a foam sprayer on her desk as a trophy. Me? I'm prepping for a batch of squidlets next week, double-checking the walls for fireproofing. Fool me once, you know. Looking back, it's wild to think a babysitting gig turned Starhaven into the galaxy's go-to for rowdy alien kids. But that's us humans. We see a fire-breathing mess and think, I can work with that. It's not about being fearless. It's about being dumb enough or brave enough to try. The hatchlings didn't just bust a smuggling ring, they showed me empathy's our superpower. I could have locked them up tight, but I let them run, trusted their instincts, and they paid it back tenfold. Even Milo, prickly as he was, came around when I gave him a shot instead of a shove. So here's the takeaway, folks. Chaos isn't the enemy, it's a chance. Whether it's a scaly toddler or a tough day, lean in with patience, a little heart, and maybe a treat or two. We turned a near disaster into a school, a rivalry into teamwork, and a Wednesday into a win. Next time life hands you a hatchling, something wild and unpredictable, don't run. Scratch its snout, see what it's got, and build something better. That's humanity's trick, and it works every time. As the hatchlings leave with Vrith, Flick turns, tilts his head. Draconid for your pack now. And I grin. See you soon, champ. Security Chief Zara sighs. Jack, reinforce those walls. I'm not kidding. I laugh, already sketching squidlet games. Who's a good boy? We all are when we try. Wow, from babysitting to busting crooks, Jack and those hatchlings redefined HFY. What's your favorite moment? Drop a comment. Would you trust humans with alien kids? Subscribe to Sci-Fi Space for more galactic goodness every day. Thanks for watching, space fans. Hit that bell so you never miss a story. This is William signing off. See you among the stars.